This is the Nadia of the Olympics, and 7 perfect marks of 10, remember? You must remember the music, too. We used it to accompany her art in a mood piece at Montreal. After that, the name was changed to Nadia's theme, and it rose to the top of the chart. Nadia Comaneci. How much has she changed from the way you see her here? Yes, we're here to see the Nadia, all right, but we're also here for another reason. This is not only an individual exhibition on the part of Nadia, it's also a team competition between the United States and Romania. The girls will be performing on all the pieces of equipment here, just as they would be in next year's World Championships or in the Olympic Games coming up in 1980 in Moscow. And the question we'd like to resolve here is, how good are the Americans, at least at this moment? In the Olympic Games in Montreal, as a team, they were able to finish no better than 6th. We have a feeling that maybe they're a little better than that right now. We should point out, however, that although this was set up as a team competition originally, the Romanians just this morning said they would much prefer just to have it as an all-around individual competition. The Americans, however, are still scoring it as a team, and so will we, so we can get this idea, as we say, of just how good the young Americans are. We should have some idea, before it even begins, certainly, is our expert on the sport, Kathy Rigby-Mason. What do you think about the American kids? Do they really have a chance here?
Well, Jim, after watching them today in practice, they look very good. They're a new team, a young team, new to international competition, and that could put them either way. They could either use the nerves to help them, or they could blow it. But I think they'll do quite well. You can't forget Nadia. She's still hanging in there. She's looked steadier today than I've seen her in months. And the only trouble she's having is a little timing problem, and that's because she's grown up a little bit and she's got 10 more pounds to cart around.
Well, we're going to be seeing that. We should point out, too, that one woman is missing from the Romanian team. Theodora Ungureanu, a great performer in her own right, is ill at home. And now here she is. This is Nadia. All the other girls have already performed in the vault. This is the only event in which you actually get 2 tries, the best of 2 to count.
She's been training so hard, Jim. I've never seen her train. I realize she trained hard for the Olympics and all the other competitions, but she's really under pressure here.
As you pointed out in our opening, she is taller. She's almost 2 inches taller, almost 5 feet 1 now. They say about 15 pounds heavier. That would bring her up to 105 or thereabouts.
That's right.
You say her body structure is actually changing, too, and you say that presents balance problems, huh?
Balance and timing, especially on this event when she does a Sukahara vault. And she doesn't seem to get the power from her arms that she got, or the timing and the turn. Here she goes. You can barely see through those lights. It was a little bit flat. She didn't get the height that she got in Montreal, but it was a good vault.
Still as serious, unsmiling as ever. Here it comes.
Watch how she pushes hard. Doesn't get quite as high as before. A little low with the shoulders and steps forward.
Thousands and thousands of flashbulbs going off, and they don't do you any good when you're more than about 6 feet away, you know.
Well, actually, the vault goes so quickly, it doesn't really bother you there, but if you're on the balance beam or the uneven bars and you have to catch the beam or catch the bars, then it bothers you.
All right, the second of 2 vaults for Nadia Comaneci. Should she get a 9.5 here, the Romanians would finish this event, this first event in the team competition, remember, with a lead of 15/100ths of a point over the United States. The United States girls have been doing very well, very poised, and for some of them, it's their first time in a big international meet. Remember, there's about 20,000 people here.
That's enough to scare anybody.
That's right. When you started, they didn't get 20,000 people for gymnastics meets.
They got about 25, I think.
There's just a part of this crowd in the Superdome. That's the stand that they move out into the middle of where the football field normally would be. And this is the conformation that's normally used for basketball. Fits in very well for the gymnastics sport. That's only one side, and that small side at the end, that's the smallest seating capacity. It's a huge crowd back on the other side. All watching Nadia Comaneci. Second ball.
This time she's really going to have to think about landing it with no steps. Powerful runner. There she goes. Nice ball. That's the old Nadia. She has to be happy about that. You see, the timing came out perfectly here. Good hip position, good pike, leg just enough behind her. Very good vault.
Well, here's her mark, Kathy. Nadia, 9.60. That's the best of the evening in this event. Amelia Everly, her little teammate, was second. Donna Turnbow and Lisa Crosser in the United States tied for third. And in the team competition, at the end of one event, Romania leads the United States 47.30 to 47.10. They lead by only 0.2 of a point. We'll be right back in the Superdome. You are looking at a part of the largest crowd ever to witness a gymnastics meet anywhere in the world. The promoters tell us the official attendance is 20,483. Nowhere ever for the Olympics, World Championships, or anything have that many people witness a gymnastics meet. This, once again, is a dual competition between the United States and Romania. Of course, quite honestly, most of this crowd has come to see Nadia Comaneci. They're seeing a very good meet so far, and right now we're in the uneven parallel bars competition. This, remember, was the event in which Nadia got her first 10 in the Olympic Games at Montreal. But right now we're going to watch 18-year-old Denise Cheshire of the American team. She's from Burbank, California, was fourth in the all-around of the 1977 U.S. Championship.
If she can get through this mount without any trouble, and we'll see. Good girl. Doing a real good job. That was her only weak point. She's working well. That's called a free hip half turn. Boy, she's working just super, Jim. That was a made-up move right there.
You mean improvised?
Improvised, exactly. And that's her dismount. She had little trouble. She's supposed to twist in that dismount. It's hard to get the timing. You got to hit just right on the top of your legs. And she's
Okay, we're going to take a look at that dismount in slow motion.
She has to get a lot of height going into it. A good leg position in the air. She straddles over, and the bounce has to be very high on her legs. It was a little bit low, and she was supposed to twist.
All right, here's the score, 9.30 for Denise Cheshire. Okay, good mark for Denise. Now here is Amelia Everly, 13 years old, from Romania, 4 feet 6.
She's really dynamic on the uneven bar. She moves quickly, she swings well, and has a pretty unusual routine. That's a long way for a girl to go in between those bars. She reminds me a great deal of Nadia on this event. Very strong.
She's even smaller than Nadia was at the time of the Olympics.
And a front flip dismount. Perfect landing. Nice exercise.
All right, now here is Amelia's mark. 9.50. That's the best mark so far of any of the competitors on the uneven bars. And now the greatest female gymnast in the world, again, Nadia Comaneci. And if you weren't with us earlier, you may not have recognized her. As you can see, her haircut's different, her figure is different, she's taller, she weighs more, but she certainly still weighs in proportion to her build.
Yes, but the weight, the extra weight, she's not used to handling. It seems that her strength hasn't caught up with the size of her body yet. And earlier in the day, she was practicing on this event, and she seemed to have gained a little bit more strength than on the last couple of months that I've seen her.
But when we talk about weight, we're not talking about excess weight we have. It's just the weight she has put on as she grows.
Exactly. She's also developed a little more muscle tone.
Okay, again, this was the one where she got her first 10 in the Olympics.
Jim, she hasn't changed her routine at all. In fact, she's taken out a few difficulties.
Has taken them out? Why?
Because of the timing, because of the strength that she doesn't have quite at the end. As you can see, she didn't get quite as much swing on that full twist.
She is actually now the tallest girl on the Romanian team, if you can imagine that.
She used to be the smallest.
That's right.
A little more trouble on that handstand, not the exact same timing she had before. Here's her dismount. And she did a good job. Not as good as in the Olympics, but very good since I've seen her in the last couple of months.
Okay, and the crowd of 20,000 or more is getting what they came to see. Fine performance by Nadia, and a good competitive performance by the American team. Let's take a look at that whole performance now.
It does take a little more effort to get through. The opening is
got to be able to move the backpack with you.
Now you'll see on this front flip, it's just right on the money. A little bit straight turn. Not enough swing. Nice full turn. Okay, on this handstand from the front roll, you'll see that she doesn't go as smoothly as she used to into it. Little pike, then her legs come up. Should be all in one motion.
We have the
AMF American people.
And she does go into her... She doesn't do the two flanges that she was doing before, and her legs came off slightly early. So I doubt she'll get a 10 for that.
Well, what she does get, here it comes, is 9.60 for Nadia. Still the best mark of anyone in this event up to now. However, we have an American girl coming up next who could do something pretty impressive. This is Donna Turnbow. She is the American National All-Round Champion and National Champion in this uneven bars also. She's a good one.
She's a very classy mount, and especially her whole routine is very classy. She does what's called stalls or shoots, which are a men's move, but Donna has no trouble with them on these bars. There she goes. Switch hands. Oops, get it up there. There she goes. Little hesitation there. Very difficult to know when to come out of those, when to shoot to that handstand. She needs to work a little bit on her toe point. There she goes with another Stalter shoot. Jim, she's really hanging in there.
Certainly is. Well, that mark of Nadia put her on the spot. All right, and listen to this mark, 9.60. That ties her with Nadia for best score in the uneven bars. Third place going to Amelia Everly of Romania. Now in the team standings, it's Romania 94.30, U.S. 93.60. The difference between the two teams, just 0.7 of a point. Fine showing so far at the halfway mark by the Americans. In the United States and Romania, 20,483 people on the scene. At the end of two events, that's the halfway mark. The United States only trails by 0.7 of a point. I'm Jim McKay. This is Kathy Rigby Mason, our expert on the sport with me. And your event's coming up, the balance beam. That's the one you won the silver medal on for the United States in the World Championships in Yugoslavia.
This event's going to really make the difference, and it'll either put the two teams far apart, or we might have some upsets here.
Okay, they're also having an individual all-around competition here, and in that, Nadia Comaneci only leads the American Donna Turnbow by 0.1 of a point. And now here's the tiny one, who at this meet is in the process of becoming perhaps the new big name in international gymnastics, 13-year-old Amelia Everly. She is about 4 feet 6 inches tall, weighs something under 70 pounds. You can see the beam is almost as tall as she is.
She does
standing on a mat there.
She does more flipping movements than anybody in this competition, and not only is her tricks good, but her ballet is extremely good too.
Remember, in the individual all-around,
she
is very close. She's in third place.
Watch this move. Back flip into a back handspring now. Solid as a rock. Into another back flip.
Boy, is she solid.
She should.
She could catch Donna Turnbow and even Nadia Comaneci with this performance if she keeps it up. One more event after this.
A little low with her back leg on that lead. Not enough to really hurt her. She's new to international competition, and it just goes to show you that it can be done.
The poise is unbelievable. Before the largest crowd in the history of gymnastics, more than 20,000 people. She's a long way from home.
Watch this move. Lay out on the balance beam. Not a tuck, not with her legs bent, but in a straight body position. Talk about strength. You have to have a great deal of strength to pull that all the way over. She's really doing well. All she has to think about now is her dismount. 2 back handsprings. Full twist high. Excellent. Yes, definitely.
Little Amelia Everly. That name is not Romanian in origin. It's a German name. She, of course, is Romanian, a member of the national team, headed unquestionably for World Championships and Olympics.
Let's take a look again at the 2 back flips. Look how solid they are. Good height. Her shoulder height. Little pause. I guess eventually the best thing she could do is to not hesitate out of that back tuck and go directly into the back handspring. Right into the back tuck in an open position and just solid.
Solid, all right. Listen to this mark, 9.75, the highest mark received by anybody in this meet so far. We're watching Super Gymnasts at the Superdome. Locked in a battle for the individual all-around title here with the great Nadia Comaneci, only a tenth of a point behind, coming to the balance beam. But this has been a tough one for the Americans.
She's a veteran.
She's the United States national champion in this event, and the United States all-around champion.
Every difficult trick she does, the aerial walkover and the back flip, she does out of a moving element, which is more difficult because you can't set yourself and get ready. Moving smoothly. Little hesitation there. She can just hold on to it. She's doing an excellent job. Getting ready for a gainer. Backflip. Very difficult. Off of one foot. Usually you see them off 2 feet. And watch her dismount. Round off both feet on the beam. A double twist. Good exercise.
Okay, we'll see how that's going to keep her vis-a-vis Nadia Comaneci. Nadia is the final competitor in this event. Coming up next.
For Everly, 9.75.
Watch how both feet land on the beam together. And as we said, the beam is only 4 inches wide, and to get both feet so that one doesn't slide off is difficult. Both feet, double twist, little short on that double twist, but the difficulty outweighs the error.
All right, here's the mark. It's a good one, 9.60. However, because of that terrific mark that Everly got of 9.75, Turnbow now drops behind little Amelia Everly in the individual all-around standing. Here is the leader, of course, Nadia Comaneci. If she gets a 9.65 here, she'll stay ahead of her teammate Everly. A 9.55 will keep her ahead of Donna Turnbow. Nadia Comaneci on the balance beam. A real treat to watch.
You know, no matter how heavy the pressure is, she never seems to hold back. She always goes for every move, full out. Walkover, solid, and I tell you, Jim, in practice she was missing that a lot. It's just the true sign of a champion.
She looks considerably more long-legged now than she did at the time of the Olympics to me.
Well, they've probably grown a couple of inches.
Yeah, she is 2.5 inches taller.
You know, to tell you how serious they are about training during their stay in New York on tour, Nadia and the rest of the girls could not eat anything but yogurt and an apple, so they're trying to keep their weight down. She's having no trouble. She's really doing a beautiful routine.
Must become tough to be 15 and not to be able to have a hot fudge sundae occasionally.
It shows, believe me. Really smooth. And for the trouble she was having in practice, she's doing an excellent job. There's her 2 back handsprings.
She can stay ahead of Donna Turnbow with a 9.5.
Fantastic.
Needs a 9.65 to stay ahead of her teammate Everly.
She needs good height on this dismount. Double twist. She really hit it.
She's still Nadia.
And her coach is so pleased. I think he's almost about ready to cry.
20,000 and more gathered in the Superdome.
She has to smile.
Look at Coach Bella Caroli counseling her new little hairdo there. Nadia Comaneci. A smile and a special bow. That's the first time we've ever seen her do anything like that. Take a little curtain call.
Well, you know, it's been a long, hard year after the Olympics to get back together, and she's really done it.
Biggest smile we have ever seen from Nadia Comaneci, including the Olympics, and here's what she was smiling about.
Watch her nail this double twist. She gets a great deal of height, has the endurance, has the punch, and definitely has the concentration. Got the power. Right around, doesn't move her feet, sticks it perfect.
Okay, let's listen for a score now.
Score for Nadia Comaneci, 9.9.
All right. The crowd loves it.
All right. Sensational 9.9. There it is for Nadia. That means that at the end of 3 events in the individual all-around, it's Nadia now, with her teammate Everly second, Donna Turnbow third. However, there's only 0.4 of a point still between Comaneci and Turnbow. It's going to go down to the final event, the beautiful free exercises. In the team competition, Romania started to run away with it now by better than 3 points. 483 gathered in the Superdome in New Orleans for the final phase of the competition, a dual meet between the United States and Romania. The Romanians leading easily in the team competition now. And in the free exercises, they've continued to add to that among the girls who have gone so far. Here, though, is Amelia Everly, who is locked in a battle for the individual all-around championship with her more famous teammate, Nadia Comaneci, and with Donna Turnbow of the United States, who are yet to come.
She's a real crowd pleaser in this event. Strong tumbler.
She picked the right music for this town. The Saints come marching.
That's right. Double twist.
I wonder if that's her usual music.
I believe it is, which is, as you said, a great coincidence. This has really been unique because the Romanians have been using such unusual moves in their dance, jazz movements that have never been seen before.
We're just a stone's throw from Bourbon Street, literally, right here. The Saints come marching in for a Romanian girl. This is, though, very different from what we're accustomed to seeing in the World Championships and the Olympics.
Well,
this is her routine.
That's right. We usually see a lot more ballet, but
Yeah.
none of these girls take that much ballet, take that many ballet classes.
How do you think the international judges will take to this in a World Championship?
Well, since they're a high-ranking team and they have a reputation for it, it's okay.
Very interesting. The subjectively judged sport.
Encore.
Well, they love it in New Orleans tonight. All 4 feet 6 and about 65 pounds on her, Amelia Everly. 20,483. Nothing to know it. These Romanians normally don't smile very much. Not only Nadia, but all the members of the team, but they really seem to have loosened up and relaxed here tonight.
When they do exhibition, they do a little Mexican fiesta dance, and they all have a great time out there.
Here comes the score for little Everly. 9.45. A good solid mark in the final event of this competition as far as she is concerned. Coming to the free exercise behind Nadia Comaneci and Amelia Everly. You've seen Everly. Comaneci is yet to come. Here's Donna, the American all-around national champion.
Her experience has really paid off for her in this competition.
And she's only 15.
Look at the poise.
She should be well-timed for those next World Championships in the Olympics.
She does 2 double twists in her exercise, which is difficult unless you have a great deal of endurance. In my opinion, one of the best dancers on the team also. Here's her first double twist. Beautiful, look, great leg form. Legs together.
She selected music called Moscow Nights.
We all pick international music.
A little Alouette.
There's your second tumbling run. Right into another double twist. Oops, that hand movement is going to cost her a little bit. 2 double twists in a routine is not easy. Sell that routine to the audience, and she's doing just that. She has great eye contact.
Donna Turnbow.
Nice exercise.
Donna Turnbow of Bellflower, California. Her final performance in this meet between the United States and Romania. Trying to hang in there in that battle for the individual all-around. That's her coach, Jim Fontaine. Now here comes a score, 9.35. That drops her another tenth of a point behind Everly, so she will not win that individual all-around. And there's one performer yet to come. Her name is Nadia. Here is Nadia, tallest girl in her team. She was the smallest at the time of Montreal. 2.5 inches taller, 15 pounds heavier. Filled out a lot, as you can see, longer of leg. But still, it appears the greatest performer in the world on the basis of that balance beam at any rate.
You know, and rumors have been going around that she's, getting bigger and taller, not as good. This is really a big lift for her, especially after that balance beam.
Well, we saw the biggest smile in Comanche history after the balance beam. Let's see what happens here.
This is new music. That endurance. Good double twist. Once again, she's having fun out there.
I think Coach Caroli's been to see a couple of Broadway shows. That influence seems to be there in all of their routines.
I think so. Here's that famous flip-flop layout with her legs all the way apart. Looks like she's counting her way through.
She's got a zest now she didn't seem to have on the ball and the uneven bars.
Big energy boost. Pretty layout. Good height. Number one.
Well, she's still number one, all right. Nadia Comaneci, at age 15, still moving toward the mature years of her career.
The greatest gymnast to ever live. Nadia Comaneci.
Gordon Maddox on the PA, perhaps the greatest gymnast who ever lived on the female side. That is certainly true. And they're letting her know it in New Orleans. Here's her final mark of this competition, 9.80 for the free exercises. So in the individual all-around, Nadia ends up an easy winner as usual. Second place to Amelia Eberly, her teammate. Third place, and a very strong one to Donna Turnbow of the United States. In the team competition, a rather comfortable victory for Romania, 189.35 to 185.80. That's the story at the Superdome. Jim McKay here with Kathy Rigby Mason. Let's talk to Nadia. Nadia. Vous êtes le plus grand du monde. Huh?
Oui.
Huh?
Oui, un peu.
I told her she was the greatest in the world. Do you think that's right?
Oh, magnificent. Very good.
It's wonderful to have you in America. Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Pleasure. Nadia Comaneci. So it was when the Romanian team and Nadia Comaneci came to the Superdome in New Orleans, put on a marvelous performance, and the biggest smile we've seen from Nadia yet. We'll see you later.
Little Russian girl.